Hey guys, this is Matt with Comax Gaming, and welcome to another SourceMod tutorial. So, I'm waiting for Steam to open actually to start coding this and testing it, but it seems like it doesn't want to start since it's been doing this for around 30 minutes now. So, oh, there we go, it's cleaning up. Thank God. Yay, it launched. BRB, guys. Alright guys, let's get started with the tutorial. And before actually doing anything else, I wanted to show you some changes that I've done. First of all, I changed the entity name to prop physics override, simply because I think the prop is going to be more useful if the player can actually grab it and do different stuff with it. So yeah, this is I removed the dispatch spawn from the if statement and I moved it here. So yeah, I don't know if it's better to have it here at the end, but I don't know. Wait, let me read what is this? Dispatch spawn. Spawns an entity. Yeah. You should definitely have it at the bottom, since we first want to set all the key values and stuff, and then spawn the entity. I actually want to spawn it here, and then we want to teleport it. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So, what I'm doing here actually is getting the origin of the player, and then I'm adding 4 to the Z or Z, call it the way you want to call it. So the Z axis. So it's actually a bit up, above, I think, the player, or maybe not. And this one is the X one. So yeah, I'm moving it a bit. You can play with this and spawn the item where you think it's more convenient. I'm not gonna get it much into that because yeah, it can spawn anywhere. The player's not gonna be stuck since it's a physics prop. So yeah, not important. So last week I did this, but we're not using the points here at any point, right? Like we have the credits, but we never initialize them. So we're gonna initialize that to 0. Here we have the timer to add them every 120 seconds. That's good. We might change this. So yeah. So you've spawned this, right? But we're not checking for the credits. So what we're gonna do is actually put the curly braces in there, and we want to add another if statement here. We want to say if credits client are greater or equal, I'm assuming this is the one we need. So what I'm saying is, if the credits of the client are greater or actually equal the price of that item that the dude wants to spawn, then we want to continue, like we want to spawn it. But we want to remove actually we're gonna do it inside. We want to remove some credits from him. So credits. Wait. I think we're doing this in here. No, we're not. Great. So yeah, credits client minus equal and this. Copy and paste. So what I'm basically saying is, okay, check if the player can actually pay for that item that he wants to buy. So if the credits are actually greater or actually equal the price of the item, then we want to spawn it, and then we want to remove the price. Like we want to remove the same amount of money that the item costed from the client. So the credits are gonna be equaling the same minus the price of the item. And we want to add an else statement. Else, and we want to say print to chat client, and want to say you do not have enough credits to buy this item, or spawn actually, but whatever. Since we're not gonna save this is gonna be temporary, right? We're gonna actually let the dude spend the item, the credits on that item, but then he's not getting the items back. Like, he's not gonna store the items. You can actually do this if you really want to, because I'm explaining everything you need here to do something like that. You can store the items if you really want to. There's not that much complex into that, but yeah. I'm gonna actually show you how, like the way you should, but later on, not now, like at the end of the tutorial, I guess. Okay, so we're saying that you don't have enough credits to buy this item. Another thing we need to do is actually save the credits for that client. So we have the key values file, which is items.txt. And now what I'm going to do actually is open that file. That I've done that already, and as you can see, we have items here, right? So we're gonna have the items here, and then below we're gonna have credits, and here we're gonna have a bunch of Steam IDs, blah 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 blah. So okay, so we're gonna go where the load items is, and it's here actually, and we want to actually go where the player gets in the game, and we want to create a new method or function called get client credits, and then we're gonna send the client, right? Because we need that. We're gonna copy and paste this somewhere above that one. Yeah, looks great. Public. Oh, by the way, if you wanna make a function like, you know, the mode to be a default mode, you know, like for example on kv dot underscore get string. As you can see, it says the last one says constant string default value, and it equals this, right? Now they can do this because it's a stock function, so it's built in an include file. That's why it doesn't have the public in front of it. So you can actually do stock, or actually leave it blank here with nothing, and you can make a variable equal something. I don't know, mode equals 0. So if the player calls, the owner or the coder calls this function, and it does not send any parameter, the mode is going to be equaling 0 by default. So it's kind of useful if you actually want that, but whatever. Okay, get client credits. Here we're gonna copy and paste this, guys. I really see no reason why we shouldn't. So items, we're gonna change this to credits. Since we're changing, we want to jump to the key where credits is found. So credits here is gonna jump to this key, and we actually want to set this to true, because if it doesn't exist, if this one doesn't exist, then we want to create it automatically with the values of the Steam ID of the client, and yeah. So it's important, right? Now we want to actually set the public save client credits. You can have one function for everything, but I think it's better to have one for each one, since it's less complicated. Let me copy and paste this. There we go. Since we're actually gonna save the client credits later when he disconnects, ooh. No, actually true. Like, it's gonna create this, but it's not gonna insert any value, so it's not important. So yeah, never mind. Let's continue with this. Jump to key credits true. So create it if it doesn't exist. It's gonna exist probably because it's gonna be created when the client joins. But not my problem, I guess. It doesn't matter. And we want to say if loaded client. So if the client is actually loaded, then we actually want to say kv set num. And for the key database, the key Steam ID, we're going to create that in a second. And credits client. And I completely failed here. Credits. Okay, Steam ID, copy and paste. Obviously, we're not gonna type everything again. There we go. So it's pretty simple, right? And of course, this is gonna go on client disconnect. On client disconnect. Save everything. So what we're saying, okay, is when the client leaves the server, then we want to say, okay, if he's loaded, then we want to set the num to that, right? Actually, no. Why are we going to do all this crap if the client is not even loaded? Stupid. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it makes sense. Why am I doing this? Because maybe the client is, I don't know, he clicked your server by mistake and he leaves when he was actually joining. If that happens, then credits is gonna be equaling 0 for the client. And what that's gonna mean is that if he actually had credits before, it's gonna set them to 0, and he's gonna have 0 credits again. So it's a way of preventing that from happening, but you know, it can happen here if we get any errors, because I'm not sure of this. And I'm actually gonna remove it because it's completely useless since we're loading anyway. So we're gonna leave it like that. If you guys know of any way of doing that, please leave a comment below telling me, because I really don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So yeah. And let's create the variable loaded, because we haven't yet. Let's go up here, static boolean loaded client equals false. Okay, I think we're done. Oh yeah, we're gonna make this look a bit better, you know. So we're gonna create a static handle g interval, like that. And actually g interval here is gonna equal create convar sm timer interval, and here the default value is gonna be 120.0. Description: set the interval time for the timer. fcvar plugin. We don't want anything special here. We don't want to notify either, so g interval, we're gonna get this, and when the client is in server, actually we don't want to repeat here. I'm gonna show you why in a second. Get convar float, and here we don't want to repeat anymore. Where's the here? We actually want to create timer here. We want to do the same thing that we did here, actually, just that we don't. Yes, we're gonna assign the variable each time. We don't want to do a timer repeat up there, because since we're getting the convert float, this may change, and the interval is not gonna change. It's gonna be looping forever, I believe, without changing the interval. So if you actually change the interval once a player is already in the loop, he's not gonna be affected. But by doing this, he's going to be affected by the change of the console variable value. So yeah, this is all, guys. I'm going to test this out. 3 errors. Well, of course, I was going to get an error. String to int. Remember that the variable items is an array, and it's a string array, not an integer array. So by trying to actually compare it with the logical operator, it's going to give us an error. And that's how we need to convert the value of this into an integer first by using the function string to int, and then compare it. There we go. Okay, same thing goes for this one. String to int. And also, guys, don't forget to open your curly braces, otherwise it's gonna give us some random bullshit. So yeah, compilation successful. Oh guys, while halfway to deathmatch loads, I wanna tell you something. The other day I was on Steam and this guy messaged me saying, yeah, I got your plugin from, you know, the source code that I post. Thank you so much. And I was like, no problem. Make sure to like the videos if you actually watched them and you liked them. And he was like, oh no, I didn't watch the video. I don't have a YouTube account, so I didn't like it either. So what I'm gonna do actually is don't post the source code again. I am gonna give it to you, but only for the people that ask for it. Okay? So send me a private message on the forums, and or maybe on the, I forgot an exception, or maybe to the what's it called, private message over YouTube, and yeah, I'll give it to you. So as you can see, it says you don't have enough credits to buy this item. So actually, if we actually sm archon sm was timer interval, yeah, if we set this to 1, or actually open 5, this is gonna go much faster. Show items, fail. Girl, give me my items. Oh my god, piece of shit. BRB. Okay, it's looping apparently, but I don't think that it's working. Show items. Okay, yeah, it's working now. Yeah, it's working. So let's spawn a keyboard, and I've spawned a keyboard. Oh, there it is, keyboard. Oh. Okay, so we got a keyboard, and as you can see, it's physics, so we can throw it around, play with it, whatever. And let's spawn a chair now, and let's check if we, yeah, it removed. Yeah. So we have 2 chairs now. Amazing. You can invite a friend, and you can sit down if you actually can get this to a correct position. So yeah, it works fine, guys. I hope you liked it. I gotta show you. Wait. The way of doing this is actually getting the item ID and storing it like this. So then when you're checking for the, you know, in the spawn thing, you want to say if string contains whatever you save this to, that's client, to the item position blah blah blah, and then you want to continue, or actually the item ID, so it's gonna be ID, I guess, doesn't equal -1. Then yeah, that's how you check if it exists or not. I hope that was a good explanation. But yeah, don't forget to appreciate all my work by liking the video, please. And I don't know, I'll see you next week with another tutorial, hopefully. Goodbye.
With